The Duchess of Sussex celebrated International Women's Day with a panel of amazing women. This included Katie Couric, Brooke Shields, and Nancy Wang Yen. The panel as a whole, and I listened to every bit of it, was extremely inspiring. The way these ladies related their own life experiences back to some of the questions that they were answering, albeit a bit sad, however, it's comforting to know that any individual, whether they are a man or a woman especially, can relate sometimes to certain situations and say, damn, I get it. But this is not a man's world. This is a woman's world, and we are just here until me, the gay, walks in. Let's take a listen to one of the clips.
I come back to you because social media has really become the go-to place for girls and women to be scrutinized, objectified, bullied, right? And unfortunately, I know that this is something that you are all too familiar with. So how have you been able to manage the seemingly endless toxicity that comes at you?
Yes, social media is a environment that I think has a lot of that. It's really interesting as I can reflect on it. I keep my distance from it right now just for my own well-being. But the bulk of the bullying and abuse that I was experiencing in social media and online was when I was pregnant with Archie and with Lily and with a newborn with each of them. And you just think about that and to really wrap your head around why people would be so hateful. It's not catty, it's cruel. Why you would do that, and certainly when you're pregnant or you have a newborn, we all, as moms, it's such a tender and sacred time. And I think, you could either succumb to it or nearly succumb to how painful that is. And maybe in some regards, because I was pregnant, that mammalian instinct just kicked in. Do everything you can to protect your child and as a result, protect yourself too. But, I think as we look at what's happening in social media, there is so much work to be done in terms of keeping people safe.
And oddly enough, an article released by The Mirror goes on to say Meghan Markle needs to speak loud in defense of Kate Middleton after family photo crisis. There have also been other articles where they're saying Meghan needs to come to the defense of Kate because of this online bullying. To which I would say absolutely not. It's been proven that Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace can release statements about whatever they want, albeit Botox, doctored photos, whatever may have you, but to come to the defense of Meghan was not on their agenda. Let's keep going and listening to what the Duchess had to say.
On the flip side of that, we have a responsibility in all of that. The systemic change has to happen at the same time as the cultural change is happening. Because if you're reading something terrible about a woman, why are you sharing it with your friends? Why are you choosing to put that out in the world? What if it was your friend or your mom or your daughter? You wouldn't do it. And I think that is the piece that is so lost right now in what's happening in the digital space and in certain sectors of the media. We have forgotten about our humanity.
And I completely relate to what Meghan said because that is a reason why I don't cover certain things about the British royal family, whether it's about Meghan or it's about Kate, because I know in my comments it's going to unleash Pandora's box. And frankly speaking, even though I'm just the creator and I don't have to look at the comments, I do look at the comments. And oftentimes I go in and I will delete comments or warn people on both sides of the spectrum. You do not do that. And frankly speaking, I don't believe in capitalizing off of other people's trauma or problems in the way that, people do with Meghan. I'm not going to do that with Kate or Meghan at all. I may provide an opinion, but that's all it is. It's an educated opinion. That's it. Let's hear Brooke Shields was the comedic relief, and I want to insert this clip from her. The next clip is going to feature Brooke Shields. I really enjoyed what she had to say on this subject. Let's take a listen.
So there's a lot of different ways we need to sort of work on not just changing the narrative, but really massaging the narrative to really reflect that there is beauty in this age. There is beauty in all of diversity. There's beauty in how incredible it is that we're all so individual. And it's
Amen, sister.
Celebrating that.
And get rid of anti-aging.
I feel like I might be the exception, but I despise getting older. I despise knowing what that looks like, what that can feel like, and what that could be. And the fact with women especially are more scrutinized than men as they get older, because women are of course expected to be, young and vibrant and not look their age and all of that, even though aging is a part of living, right? So I really appreciated what Brooke said, but also, I don't know, for those who didn't watch, Meghan had shared the story about her letter to Procter and Gamble. And obviously we know that she wrote that at age 11, and Brooke chimed in and said, well, at age 11, I was playing a prostitute. And I died laughing at that. Two different worlds. She said, at age 11, I was playing a prostitute. And I was like, whoa. Okay. Let's keep going.
There's this really disturbing study that came out of the UK that Gen Z boys and men actually are more likely than boomers to believe that feminism does more harm than good. This is really scary, right?
That is scary.
Well, if you ask me, that is on brand for the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Press at dinner one night. I was with my daughters and I was crying. And my 10-year-old daughter, Carrie, was like, Mom, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And she goes, Mom, remember what Samantha said on Sex and the City? Oh. And I was like, oh shit, there is so much wrong with that statement from my 5th grader. And she said, if I listened to what every bitch in New York City said about me, I'd never leave the house.
I'm telling you, if you did not watch this panel live, you can still find it. It's on YouTube, South by Southwest, SXSW on their YouTube. It's there now. I seen it earlier. You should go watch it. So many, I don't know who else aside from me and maybe other people take movie quotes from about life and apply it to the real world. It's so true. If I thought about every single thing, or if any woman, I'm sorry, I need to remove myself from this. If any woman thought about, whatever somebody said all the time, they wouldn't leave the house. They wouldn't want to leave the house because of the criticism. So I hope that resonates with somebody on this video. I'm going to show one more clip.
Habits that what I find the most disturbing, frankly, especially as a supporter of women, is how much of the hate is women completely spewing that to other women. And I cannot make sense of that because I understand that there are certain platforms. Look, today's a really good example. This is being streamed on one of those platforms. And it's also fantastic because people are going to have access to hear all of this brilliance and all of this insight. And at the same time, it's a platform that has quite a bit of hate and rhetoric and incentivizes people to create pages where they can churn out very, very inciting comments and conspiracy theories that can have a tremendously negative effect on someone's mental health.
And it was at that point she was speaking from personal experience. And I know I said I was removing myself because this is a panel of women about women. But even as a male content creator, the comments that I receive about me, not necessarily about Meghan or my content, but about me every single day, and probably maybe even on this video, I'm grateful and thankful that I'm strong enough to not internalize it, but it's exhausting. And comments make you not want to do the content. And I can't tell you how many of my especially female colleagues that we were starting out around the same time, talking about Harry and Meghan, are no longer here because of the comments. And some people went too far with their comments to some of those women. And I hate that, I couldn't be there, or we couldn't be there to guide them through that and say, hey, it's okay. We're going to get through it. We're here. And I'm glad I have that support system within royal content creators who are on, I would say, the good side of Harry and Meghan, where we talk every day about, certain comments, and we can kind of get to a point now where we literally just laugh it off. So this was a great panel, as you all can see. It was a good conversation, and I would love to see Meghan do more of these in the future, especially this year. She's very relaxed, very comfortable, well informed, and well educated on every subject she's talking about. So this was a good one.